The town of Farmington. Respecting history, planning the future.
We'll now start our town council meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
We'll now move on to public comment. I will first ask those here in attendance in the town hall if they have any questions. If you would like to come to the podium and speak, please state your name, address, and limit your comments to 5 minutes, if you will. Seeing none. Is there anyone online?
I do not see anyone.
Seeing no one online, we will move right along to consider and take out, Joe, item D.
You sure? I'd like to make a motion to consider and take action on the proposed 2022-2023 town budget.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. We will now go down the list. Kathy, you want to tell us
Okay,
how you
so
vote?
just kind of about the process. So again, if we're working off our main page, our tax and budget worksheet, I thought what we could do first is that we could start on the expenditure side and hit each one of these, and if you do not want to make any changes to them, we would then go back and we'd have motions for each one of them. So that would be the first set that we would do. And we'd start with education, and as in your book, it shows that we have a $2,159,323 change at a 2.99% increase. So again, for discussion.
Great. And I assume the Board of Education is available if we have any questions?
Yes.
Okay. Does anyone have any questions on the Board of Education? Seeing none.
Okay. The next one would be the town operations, and that would a dollar change of $885,237 or 2.74%.
Any questions on the town side?
Just to be clear, this number does not include the police comfort dog for the 8,000.
Does not.
Correct.
Okay.
We could discuss that right now if you'd like.
I would like to add the 8,000 for the police comfort dog.
And I would like to second.
Johnny and Rafina, and that would be $8,000 for the police comfort dog in the police budget. Got it.
How does everyone feel about that?
Agree.
Yep, definitely support it.
Okay,
Good.
great. Something else I wanted to bring up.
Wait.
Go ahead.
Need to have a vote.
Oh, we gotta have a motion to amend that? We don't want to do them all first and then amend the full motion? Okay,
Do each as an individual.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any other questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed unanimously. So we add that. Anything else, anyone else would like to add in? One thing I wanted to bring up is the pension. We've been changing the assumptions and lowering the return assumptions each year. There's a planned return assumption again next year. So I wanted to consider putting some additional money in the pension this year. It was a very good year for the pension as far as the investments. So that assumption change addition didn't affect us quite so much with the budget and the tax increase we're looking at right now. I thought it might be wise to kind of get ahead of next year's assumption adjustment and put some money in there. Joe, what would putting in all of the assumption adjustment for next year be?
To put in all of the,
If we assume the adjustment, if we, of next year, what they plan on dropping the assumption, and how much would that cost this year?
the drop in the assumption for next year that we have budgeted right now was $170,000.
Okay.
So basically, every eighth of a percent that you drop it by is $170,000.
Okay. So if we built in next year's assumption, or basically change the assumption a little further this year, it would be 170,000 addition. Okay. So I think it would be nice at the very least to get ahead of that, whether we do it all or we do it half. I'd be comfortable with that, with where we're at in the budget. Any thoughts?
So if we do that this year, would we then still push the 8% next year, just getting ahead of it, or would we hold off on the drop for next year?
We'd have the option next year. I mean, the plan right now, I believe their plan was to drop it 1/8 each year. If we put, we could put in half this year and just get ahead halfway. If the market isn't as favorable next year as it has been this year, which it likely will not be, it just won't have as big an impact for next year, and you kind of give next year's budget a little starting point.
Okay.
What's the total again, 170?
170s for the full eighth. If we went a 16th instead of that, that would be half that, so you're talking 85.
I'd be comfortable with the full 170. I think we're in a safe position. We should take advantage of it, not knowing what next year is going to bring.
And
What,
then-
That brings our rate down to
Well, let's
6.75, or that brings it further than that?
It would bring it further. It'd be
Right, to
6.6.
Six something, okay.
what would the result of that in our tax increase?
Yes.
Would it be a
Joe has the magic sheet,
2 basis points? Or
so we'd be adding in, if we did the full thing, 178,000 to the total
Right.
budget.
Your tax increase would be 1.79%.
And we're at 1.63 right now?
Yeah,
Yes.
1.63.
So in terms of real dollars,
In real
your
dollars,
average, yeah.
it's about, for the average home assessment, it would be about $117 versus the recommended budget was 106.56. It would now be 117.23.
So about another
Six, $10.
$11.
For
$11.
And just to make sure we're all, so this is something that we plan to do next year anyway, correct?
Yeah.
So it's going to be money that will be spent, and this kind of gives us some flexibility for next year, which we don't know where the budget's going to be at, right? It seems like we have a pretty workable budget right now, so to build in the flexibility, I've only been to one retirement board meeting, so I do not want to profess to be an expert, but I know that this is something that everybody felt very strongly about, so I think it makes a lot of sense.
Other thoughts,
Do-
comments?
I would
What-
support putting the full 170 in this year. I mean, we're lucky to have a relatively easier budget cycle this year. We don't know exactly what next year is going to be like, so I think it makes sense to, it's something, like Keith said, something that we have to do anyway, so we might as well get it done in this budget cycle. And it seems like the tax impact is relatively minimal.
Yeah, it's a benefit to the town. Let's do the right thing.
Okay, other thoughts?
I'm good.
Somebody like to make a motion on that?
Yep. I'd like to make the motion to add $178,000 to the retirement
Wait,
pension plan.
170,000.
170,000, sorry, to the town pension plan.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any further comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed unanimously. Okay, anything else in the town side? Okay,
Next would be the debt, and as you can see, that we have a debt number of $9,306,656, and it's 12.50%. And I think Joe went through it pretty carefully yesterday, so if there's any questions.
any other questions on the debt? Okay, seeing none.
The next is the capital improvement, which is $3,881,000. It's $733,834, 23.32%. This is a very, very solid capital improvement plan for us. It's higher than we have historically have given, but we did go, was it last year or the year before, we're making up because we had a zero capital project. So I think that this is, in some ways, there's never enough for the capital. So this is, I think, really very good for the school and good for the town. But for discussion.
Right. Thoughts on the capital? Okay, and it was 2 years ago, we had, basically, we gutted the capital to get that year of no tax increase. So this is the makeup time. Okay. Next.
Good. The next is the Board of Ed defined contribution, and this is something we didn't talk about, so Joe will just briefly discuss this. It has gone up $175,000, but we'll describe why.
couple of years ago, the Board of Ed negotiated, or actually the town negotiated, so that the non-certified Board of Ed employees were in the town pension plan. And 2 years ago, the town negotiated with the unions to get them out of the pension plan and put them onto the defined contribution plan. So every year we have to make a contribution. It's a similar setup as what the town has with our unions, where we do a 6% match on their base salary. And the contribution is budgeted here for that purpose. Initially, the amount was $75,000, and it's been growing by about $70,000 a year, which is substantially more than what we thought. But what happened was when the pandemic hit, a lot of their people started to retire. And so the people who were in the plan, the defined benefit plan, started to retire, and they're being replaced being replaced with the people in the defined contribution plan. So the contribution has been increasing, and next year we're forecasting it'll go up to about $250,000. And again, it's 6% of their base salary. To give you an idea, since the pandemic started, they've had over 30 retirements in that group. So, and obviously as they replace those people, they're, instead of going to the defined benefit plan, they go to defined contribution.
So even though the number, again, it is a high increase, it is an overall benefit because these employees are going off the traditional pension plan and coming on to the defined contribution plan is what we're aiming to do.
So long-term, it saves money.
Yes.
Any other questions on that?
And the defined benefit plan would be costing us more if we had more people
People
that
on
were
that
still
plan,
on that
yeah.
rather
You'd
than
see
switching
that in
to
the
this.
pension fund numbers
Right.
instead of on this. So that would be in the operating budget under pension funds.
Okay, seeing no questions, I think we're good with that one as well.
So typically, what you would do now is that you'd make individual motions on what we just did, and we have that available. So you'd go through that and make the motions on each one of these expenditure accounts, and then you'd do a final motion that kind of wraps all of it together, and that's it. And then you approve the warning. So we're basically done. We're just going to make motions now and do that.
Okay, any other questions of any of the dollars on this before we start making motions?
Just double check.
Okay, Joe, I think you're.
Joey, we're just, one
Geez,
second, we're just,
getting me all the numbers.
Okay,
yeah.
And down here, minus 33.
33, 83, 20,
Yep, and 3.29.
29, million, 53,
Oh,
63.
63,237.
57.
Good at math.
Each one of them individually, and then once we do that, then we do the final motion, that would be that, and then the last item on the agenda is that.
Okay, but I don't have to read it. Who's gonna read the whole warning?
You don't have to read the warning.
Okay, just read that.
Yeah.
You don't want the public speaking practice?
You see how long this thing is?
Oh, and then before everyone leaves, you have to sign the warning.
Well, they have to make a motion on that, too.
Yeah, they have to do that and then sign it, yep.
Okay, big numbers. All right, I'd like to make a motion to set the capital improvement budget for the fiscal year of 2022, 2023 at $3,881,000, an increase of $733,834, or a 23.32 overall current year budget.
Second.
we have a motion and a second, any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed unanimously.
I'd like to make a motion to set the town operating budget for fiscal year 2022, 2023 at $33,380,320, $1,063,237, or 3.29% over the current budget.
Second.
A motion and a second, any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed unanimously.
I'd like to make a motion to set the Board of Education budget for fiscal year 2022, 2023 at $74,448,257, an increase of $2,159,323, or 2.99 over the current budget.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed unanimously.
I'd like to make a motion to set the debt service budget for fiscal year 2022-2023 to $9,306,656, an increase of $1,034,309, or 12.50 over the current year budget.
Second?
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed unanimously.
I'd like to make a motion to set the fiscal year 2022-2023 Board of Ed defined contribution budget at $250,000, increase of $175,000, or 233.33 over the current budget.
Second?
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed unanimously.
All right, now the big one. I'd like to make a motion to set the Town of Farmington fiscal year 2022-23 budget for the Board of Education at $74,448,257, or a 2.99 increase above the fiscal year of 2021-2022 budget, and the town operating budget at $33,380,320, or a 3.29 increase above the fiscal year 2021-2022 budget, and the debt service budget at $9,306,656, or a 12.50 increase above the fiscal year 2021-2022 budget, and the capital improvement budget at $3,881,000, or a 23.32 increase above the fiscal year 21-2022 budget. The Board of Education defined contribution budget at $250,000, or a 233.33% increase above the fiscal year 2021-2022 budget, resulting in a total appropriation for the fiscal year 2022-2023 at $121,088,233, or 4.3.
That's not correct.
All right.
Sorry.
Time out.
121.
We forgot to add the number.
Yeah.
121.
Hold on.
to
I got it.
60.
Yeah.
You want to write it in?
Go ahead, tell me.
121, 266, 233.
Okay.
All over again, Joe.
For fiscal year of 2022-2023 at $121,266,233 for a
A, wait.
4.45.
4.45 increase over the fiscal year 2021-2022 budget.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any further questions? Hearing none, all in
This is,
favor?
this is it. Congratulations.
Well, we got to pass it first.
Aye.
All
Aye.
in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed unanimously. Now I will open up to any comments anyone would like to make on the budget in general, if we can. Kathy doesn't like that.
Oh, you're supposed to
You
do
wanted that beforehand, but go
Yeah.
ahead.
Okay.
Any comments?
No, just thank you very much for all your hard work, Joe, Kathy, Kat, obviously the Board of Education, and Kathy Greeter's office. Well done.
Town staff is awesome, thanks.
We very much appreciate how everyone worked together for the betterment of the town and making things easy for us, and thank you very much.
My
I think it's
pleasure.
great to see everybody working together, come together to support a budget that supports our high-quality school system, maintains all of our services, and keeps the tax increase at a very low, minimal increase.
And no caucus.
And
And I think our residents will be really happy when they see what we were able to accomplish, so good government.
agreed, we came in.
I have to,
Go
I
ahead.
have to say that everybody that put this together set the bar really high. And hopefully we could replicate this process going forward. Joking. No, you guys, it was a great job. I enjoyed listening to all of it, obviously, being here as a new member and learning so much. You thought you knew the town, had been here for 20 years, and then you realize just how much you don't know about what's going on in the town. So it's nice that we're so well taken care of with the staff and everybody that has been part of this process and others.
Thank you. Going into this whole process, we were talking about that limiting tax increases. We talked about that throughout the process of the high school building project. We certainly showed we are serious about that. You've done a great job in bringing the budget to under 2%, not just under 3%. And that's with a few additions that we had this year. We had some increases in capital that we were catching up from those 2 years ago when we basically had little or no capital, trying to keep that zero tax increase when COVID started. The lower interest rates also encouraged us to get ahead of the bonding for the high school this year, which was a huge plus. So that'll help us in further years as well. Our grand list was a big plus for those paying attention at home. We're just under $3.8 billion in our grand list, so that was a good plus as well. So for a 1.79% tax increase this year to the public, I would agree with what's been said. I think everyone should be very happy. I'd like to thank the entire council, also the Board of Education, for taking this very, very seriously this year and coming in where we needed to come in to respond to what we'd been doing in the past and to let the public know. And also, as has also been mentioned, the town staff does an incredible job. The town and the Board of Education staff does a tremendous job making all of us look good. They give us the information we need when we need it, and they implement all these policies that we do, not just during the budget season, but throughout the year. So thank you to all the town staff and the Board of Education staff. With that, we will move on to item E.
I'd make a motion to approve the warning of the April 18th, 2022 annual town meeting and the April 28th, 2022 referendum.
Second?
And you all have the warning up with you.
We will have a copy of the warning. And that will be submitted for the public record. Do we need to read the warning?
I don't think so, no.
Okay. So we have the warning. It is in the public record. Does anyone have any questions on the warning for our April 18th meeting? Seeing none, we have a motion and a second. Any additional comments? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed unanimously. We have no executive session today, so I will ask for...
Oh, and just remind it, just for the public, that there's no meeting on Saturday.
Yeah, thank you. That we have actually completed our budget this evening, Thursday evening, so there will be no budget meeting on Saturday. We have completed the task at hand, so for anyone listening at home, don't show up on Saturday, we won't be
Or
here.
Monday or Tuesday.
Or Monday or Tuesday. Those as-needed meetings are also not there. So I think it's appropriate this year. I'll end with a comment from Vince Lombardi. The achievement of an organization are the results of a combined effort by each individual.
And I'll
Thank
make
all those
them-
individuals.
And I'll make the motion to adjourn the March 10th, 2022 town council meeting.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We are adjourned at 4:22.
Pretty good.
Thank you, everyone.